You know that feeling when you're really onto something potentially huge, but finding other people who actually get it feels, well, it feels tough, like shouting into the wind sometimes.
Yeah.
So, what if you could like cut through all that noise and actually build something, a real movement with people who are just as fired up as you are?
Right. That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at um, the core ways to create that kind of pull, that online energy.
Okay.
And yeah, we're drawing heavily from Russell Brunson's books, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, and Traffic Secrets. They're kind of like the underground playbook for building this stuff online.
An underground playbook for building a tribe. I like that.
That's
Okay, so the mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the key strategies from these books on how to build that movement. Like, how do you really understand your people?
right. And then how do you shape your message so it clicks, so it creates that shared feeling?
And crucially, how do you get their attention in the first place and bring them in? Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So it feels like the absolute first thing, according to these books anyway, is just getting super clear on who you're trying to reach, this dream client idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, that sounds kind of obvious maybe, but why is deliberately picking this audience like so critical? Why is it such a make or break thing?
Well, it's foundational, really, because everything else you do flows from that choice. The books really hammer this home. If you don't consciously define who you're for, you
Yeah.
risk attracting people who aren't really aligned.
Okay.
Or worse, people who actually kind of drag things down. It's like choosing the founding members of your movement,
Well,
right? You want the enthusiasts, not just
Yeah.
bystanders.
Right, not the energy vampires. Okay, so practically speaking, how do we actually find this dream client? The books mention like 4 main questions. What are those?
Yeah, the first one sounds simple, but it's deep. Who exactly are they? And that's way beyond just, age and location. It's about what makes them tick, their dreams, their frustrations, what keeps them up at night related to, well, whatever it is you're building your movement around.
Okay.
Second is, where do they actually hang out online? Like which forums, groups, newsletters, blogs, where are they already having conversations? Third, what kind of bait, and we mean genuinely useful stuff here, not tricks, what bait will actually grab their attention in all the noise? And fourth, what's the specific result, the transformation you actually want to deliver for them?
Yeah.
Getting clear on these 4. It seems basic, but it's huge.
That idea of bait, that's actually valuable. That's interesting. It's not about like cheap clickbait then.
No, definitely not. It's got to be something genuinely relevant, something that solves a small piece of their problem or speaks directly to their interest, so they want to engage.
And to figure that out, you really have to know where they are online. Like you said, you can't just guess.
Exactly. You almost have to become like an anthropologist of your market. You watch, you listen, you see the language they use. That research is, well, it's essential for crafting anything that's going to resonate.
Okay.
And once you start attracting them, the next piece is building that connection, that feeling of us. That's where the attractive character concept comes in. Now, this isn't about making someone up, is it?
Yeah.
What's the key there?
No, absolutely not. The books are really clear. Authenticity is key. The attractive character is more about embodying the movement's values, sharing real stories, including the struggles, the flaws, having a clear point of view. It's like that charismatic leader figure, but relatable because they've been through it too. Not some perfect, unrelatable guru.
Right, showing the journey and then how that character interacts with people, especially new people joining. That's crucial too.
Yeah, like that soap opera sequence they talk about for the first 5 emails. That seems designed to pull people in fast. What's the logic there?
It's all about creating immediate immersion and intrigue. You're basically setting the stage, introducing the character's backstory, maybe some key turning points, hinting at what's possible. It's like the first few scenes of a good show. You want to know what happens next.
Hook 'em early.
Exactly. Build that relationship quickly.
And it doesn't stop there, right? After that initial sequence, they talk about daily Seinfeld emails. Now, daily emails, that sounds like a lot, maybe even annoying, especially if it's not always directly about the main topic.
Yeah, it can sound like that, but the strategy is interesting. It's supposed to be like 90% entertainment and only 10% content.
90% entertainment.
Yeah, think about Seinfeld, the show. It wasn't deep lessons every time, right? It was just relatable, funny observations about everyday stuff. The point of these emails is to be a welcome, entertaining part of someone's day. You build that rapport, that connection, almost like a friend checking in.
Yeah.
So when you do have something more specific to share about the movement or an offer, they're way more open to it because they already feel connected to you, or rather, the attractive character.
So it's about consistency and just being present in their world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fostering that community vibe. And this whole idea of a movement, it really boils down to that shared interest, that place to connect.
Yeah.
The book uses an early example, themat.com. That was before all the marketing stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. Before Brunson was known for funnels and marketing, he built themat.com. It wasn't about selling anything initially. It was just a forum, a place for wrestling fans to connect, talk about the sport, share their passion.
Just a community hub.
Exactly. It became the place for those people. It shows that core principle. Build the gathering place around the shared interest first. The business can follow, but the movement starts with connection.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we're understanding the tribe, we're connecting via this authentic character, we're keeping them engaged. What's next in turning that connection into something more like a real functioning movement?
Yeah.
It seems like offers and value come into play here.
Precisely. And the value ladder is the big concept here. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. The value ladder is basically a way to map out your offerings. You start with something low barrier, maybe even free, and then offer progressively more valuable and usually higher priced solutions or experiences.
So people can kind of ascend based on their level of interest and commitment.
Exactly. Lets you serve people at different levels. Someone might start with a free guide, then buy a book, then join a course, maybe eventually end up in a high-end coaching program. It's a natural progression for those who get deeper into your movement.
Like the home study course leading to the big mastermind group example.
Got it.
But how do you get them onto that first rung? That's the bait idea again, right? How do you grab their initial attention?
Yeah, back to the bait. The books use this term, inquirer interrupts. Think of those crazy headlines you used to see. It's about creating ads or content hooks that are compelling enough to stop someone scrolling.
Disrupt the pattern.
Right. And that interrupt leads them ideally to a squeeze page, a simple page, where you offer that initial piece of bait, that valuable thing, in exchange for their email address. Get them into your world.
And one specific type of bait mention is the free plus shipping offer. Giving a physical book or something away, just charging for postage. Why is that so powerful, even though it seems like you're losing money up front?
Well, it's a fantastic way to attract cold traffic people who've never heard of you. The barrier to entry is super low. Just pay a few bucks for shipping.
Minimal risk for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it changes the relationship. They go from being just a prospect to being a subscriber and a buyer, even if it's a small purchase. That micro commitment makes them way more likely to buy other things later. It qualifies them.
Ah, okay. It separates the lookers from the actual buyers. And for these low-cost entry offers, they recommend a two-step funnel with a really concise script. Who, what, why, how, why does that short video format work well here?
Because for something cheap, people don't need a novel. They need the key info fast. The who quickly says who you are and why you're credible. The what clearly states what they get. The why hits the main benefits. And the how tells them exactly what to do next.
Quick, clear, builds trust fast.
Yep. Gets the main points across efficiently.
And then right after they make that first small purchase, boom, there's the OTO, the one-time offer. What's the psychology behind why those are supposedly so effective right at that moment?
It's all about capitalizing on the momentum. They just said yes. They have their credit card out there in a buying state of mind.
Okay.
So you present a special, often complimentary offer, usually at a discount, that enhances what they just bought. The one-time aspect adds urgency. You feel like a special deal just for them right then.
Makes sense. Strike while the iron's hot. Now, moving up that value ladder, the perfect webinar model gets a lot of attention, especially in expert secrets. We can definitely talk more about webinars later, but what's their main job in building the movement itself?
The webinar is really positioned as a powerful platform to deliver your core message, your manifesto almost, to a larger group simultaneously. It's where you can really educate, build deeper trust, share the vision, and invite people to take a bigger step with you.
So it's a key conversion tool for higher steps on the ladder.
Absolutely. And a way to really articulate the why behind the movement.
And storytelling is obviously huge for webinars. They mentioned the STAR Story Solution Framework and the Epiphany Bridge. How do those help connect and inspire people to join?
Right. The STAR Story Solution is the structure. The star is usually your attractive character. The story is their journey, their struggles that mirror the audience's struggles. And the solution is your offer, the path forward. The Epiphany Bridge is about sharing those key aha moments, those turning points in the star's story that led to the breakthrough. By sharing those epiphanies, You help the audience have similar realizations about their own situation, making them see your solution as their path forward too. It bridges the gap.
Creates that resonance. If they figured it out, maybe I can too.
Exactly that. It makes the transformation feel achievable for them.
Okay, brilliant. So we've got the audience, the connection, the value structure, the compelling presentations. Now, the million-dollar question. How do we keep feeding the machine? How do we get more people into this whole ecosystem? That's where Traffic Secrets really comes in.
That's the fuel, exactly. The funnels we've talked about are the pathways, but traffic is what makes them work. You need a steady flow of the right people.
Right.
And a cornerstone strategy for this, maybe the cornerstone, is the Dream 100. What exactly is that?
The Dream 100 is basically your hit list. It's identifying the top 100, could be more, could be less influencers, platforms, communities, podcasts, YouTube channels. Basically anywhere your ideal dream clients are already paying attention.
So finding where they already are.
Precisely. The idea is it's way more efficient to tap into existing streams of attention than to try and build everything from absolute zero. Go where the fish are already swimming.
Makes sense. But it's not just about listing them, right? There's a specific way you're supposed to approach this Dream 100. How do you actually engage?
Yeah, it's a process. Phase 1 is just digging in. Follow them, listen to their podcasts, read their blogs, join their groups, understand their world and their audience first.
Be a student.
Exactly. Then start engaging genuinely. Comment thoughtfully, share their stuff, add value to their community. The big no-no is sliding into their DMs with a generic pitch immediately.
Right, the red flags, templated messages, making it all about you right away.
Totally. The green lights are personalization, finding common ground, offering help or value first, building an actual relationship before ever asking for anything. Serve first.
Okay, build rapport. And while you're doing that, having your own show, your own consistent content, whether it's blog posts, videos, a podcast, is also vital. And email is like the #1 channel.
Absolutely. Your show is how you build your own audience and demonstrate your expertise.
Oh.
And email, well, the books stress this over and over. You own your email list.
Unlike social media followers.
Right. Algorithms change, platforms disappear. Your email list is your direct line to your people. It's the most reliable way to communicate, nurture the relationship, and mobilize your movement.
Got it. And that show you're creating can also be a way to connect with your Dream 100, right? By becoming a guest on their shows.
Yes. That's a huge strategy they talk about. You work your way into their world, build that relationship, and then potentially collaborate. Being a guest on their podcast or YouTube channel gives you instant credibility and exposure to their audience, who are likely your dream clients too.
It's a win-win. They get content, you get access.
Exactly. It's about infiltration and leverage in a good way.
So all this feeds into what they call the fill your funnel framework.
Yeah.
6 steps for getting traffic consistently. Can you run through those quickly?
Sure. Step 1, know your dream customer inside out. Step 2, find where they congregate online, your Dream 100 research. Step 3, create irresistible hooks, ads, content, offers that grab attention. Step 4, work your way in, organic outreach, relationship building, guest appearances. Step 5, buy your way in, use paid ads strategically to amplify reach. Step 6, fill your funnel, actually convert that traffic into leads and members of your movement.
It's a pretty clear roadmap. And what about the people who see your stuff but don't join right away? That's where retargeting comes in.
Yeah, retargeting is huge for follow-up. It lets you show specific ads just to people who've already visited your site or engaged with your content but didn't convert.
You stay top of mind.
Exactly. You gently remind them of the value, maybe address potential objections, and guide them back towards taking that next step. It's often much cheaper and more effective than constantly trying to acquire brand new cold traffic.
Makes sense. The book also mentions specific tactics for platforms like Instagram and Facebook. Any key takeaways there for movement building?
Yeah, for Instagram, it's about strong visuals, using captions strategically to drive action, leveraging stories and highlights for engagement, and maybe IGTV for collaborations. For Facebook, value-driven videos, especially Facebook Lives, and being active in helpful and relevant groups seem to be the focus, tailoring the content to the platform.
Right. And we shouldn't forget about good old Google, right? SEO is still important. They mentioned the skyscraper technique.
Definitely. Organic search traffic is super valuable. The skyscraper technique is basically finding content that already ranks well for keywords you care about, then creating something demonstrably better, more thorough, more up-to-date, better designed.
The skyscraper.
Right. Then you reach out to sites linking to the original lesser piece and suggest they link to your superior one instead. It's a smart way to earn high-quality backlinks and visibility.
Clever. And YouTube is highlighted too as a platform for potential long-term growth. It's key there.
Yeah, YouTube's powerful because videos can gain momentum over time. The algorithm rewards watch time, so the focus is on hooking viewers early, keeping them engaged with good storytelling and value, and having a clear call to action. Structure matters, like hook, intro, content, offer.
And podcasting. What's the unique advantage there for building a movement?
Intimacy, really. People often listen with headphones while commuting or working out. You have their focused attention. It allows for deeper connection, more nuanced conversation. Podcast listeners tend to be very loyal and engaged, which is perfect for building a dedicated movement.
That undivided attention is powerful. Now, beyond the mainstream stuff, the books touch on growth hacking too. Things like solo ads and affiliate marketing. How do those fit in?
There are ways to leverage other people's audiences. Solo ads are basically paying someone with a relevant email list to promote your offer. Affiliate marketing is setting up partnerships where others promote you for a commission.
Okay.
The key with affiliates, the book's stress, is to be generous. Make it really worthwhile for them to promote you. They become extensions of your own marketing team.
Right, treat your partners well. Another important concept seems to be traffic temperature. Cold, warm, hot. Why does that distinction matter so much?
Because you absolutely cannot talk to all traffic the same way. Cold traffic people who have no idea who you are need a very different message and offer than warm traffic. Maybe they've seen some content, or hot traffic or your existing fans and customers. You need to warm them up first.
Exactly. You need to build awareness and trust with cold traffic before you ask for a significant commitment. Trying to sell a high-ticket thing straight to cold traffic usually fails. You need different funnels, different messaging for each temperature.
Yeah.
Understanding that cold traffic customer avatar is vital.
Got it. And finally, there's this idea of virality, the copulation rate. Sounds a bit technical. What does that mean?
Yeah, the term is memorable. It basically means, does each new person who joins your movement park in, on average, more than one other person? If your rate is above 1, you have the potential for viral exponential growth.
So built-in sharing.
Right, like Hotmail putting that signature on every email back in the day, or Facebook making it easy to invite friends. Simple mechanisms that encourage existing users to bring in new ones. That's the dream for rapid movement growth.
Wow. Okay. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to that consistent flow of leads, of new people discovering your movement. That seems to be the engine driving everything.
It's the lifeblood. You constantly need new people discovering you, engaging, and ideally ascending that value ladder and becoming core parts of the movement.
Okay, let's try and tie this all together. We've covered a ton of ground. Identifying that dream audience, crafting your message as that authentic or attractive character.
Right, building connection.
Then structuring your value with the value ladder, making compelling offers.
From the free, plus shipping, all the way up to maybe high-ticket stuff.
And then all the ways to drive traffic, especially focusing on that Dream 100, finding where your people already are and strategically working your way in and buying your way in.
And you see how they all connect, right? You
Yeah.
can't just do traffic without knowing who you're targeting or what you're offering. It all works together. The message, the offer, the traffic, the funnel, it's a system.
Yeah, it really is a comprehensive system laid out in these books. .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets. It feels like a real blueprint if you're serious about building something online, a community, a movement.
Absolutely. It demystifies a lot of it. Which I guess brings us to the final thought for you listening.
Yeah, what's the takeaway here?
Well, think about the movement you want to build, or maybe are already building. What's that core message? And maybe more immediately, who are those key players, those platforms, those influencers, your potential Dream 100, who already have the ear of the people you want to reach?
Identifying your own Dream 100.
Yeah. Just starting that process, really thinking about who those top 20, 50, or 100 are.
Yeah.
That alone could be a massive first step to really amplifying your message and growing your tribe. Where does your audience already live online?
So that was a quick preview of what's to come. If you want to learn more about how to build a movement, how to market yourself in the sea of the unknown, subscribe. And I will be sharing more of these teachings from the greatest marketers in the world. And hopefully it helps you enough to where you will be successful with it. Because at the end of the day, the more you know does nothing unless you do it. Good day.
Subscribe now.